He expressed warnings to others of a force so menacing and unbeatable, it could only be described as supernatural. He called them ghosts.
What's up, people? Mike here, and this is mission 16, Severed Ties, for Call of Duty Ghosts, Veteran Difficulty, and Intel Guide. So this is the tank mission, and this is, a pretty fun mission, mainly because, you just get to drive a tank around and you just blow shit up. The level specific achievement is to destroy 3 of the helicopters with the guided missile. It's very simple to do. It's probably one of the easiest achievements to do in this game. Like outside of the obviously beating the mission achievements, because those are just progressive ones, but as soon as you get to where all these satellite dishes are, there's, I'm not sure if the helicopters are like infinite, but there's usually been a good amount of them. The helicopters, depending on how far away it is, it can destroy the missile, because it will just deploy the the countermeasure missile things, or whatever the hell you want to call them. But very easily, bam, you get 3. And plus, especially later for some of the enemy tanks, I ended up just using the guided missile as an easier way of destroying them. Especially since if there's like 2 tanks kind of close together, if you use the guided missile, it almost always will destroy both of them. Like, I wasn't even trying to blow up the other tank, it just happened to blow the other one up because of like the distance between them, and I guess like the splash damage of the missile. So the sequence coming up, for some reason, the first checkpoint that I ended up getting in here, I think it just was where it checkpointed me. It put me in a very shitty spot where I was getting shot at by like 3 different tanks at once. And it literally took me like 5 attempts before I finally was able to to get away from it. But like every time you destroy one of the rocket things, it gives you a checkpoint. But because of where I was when I did that, I had like the 2 tanks, and then I had the enemy vehicle. And this is the point where I use the guided missile, because like 2 of those tanks show up, and they've killed me too. But I just used I found the guided missile to just be more effective in quickly taking them out than just using the normal fire shot, or the normal tank shot. The other thing is, with the guided missile on those rocket launcher things, that with the guided missile, you can destroy it in one shot, when if you just use the normal cannon shot, I believe it takes 2 shots to destroy it. So using the rocket is less of a time consuming issue, considering how quickly it can just destroy them. And any chance you can run over the enemy soldiers with the tank, it's always a fun thing to do. Once you go into this view, that's when you've destroyed all the missile launching devices. So and As soon as I get to this part, I just start shooting the gun. I don't wait for, you know, when it wants you to. I'm just immediately just shooting as much as I can with this thing and just trying to blow up anything I can. Especially when you get to the building you need to go into. When you hit a certain part, it wants you to jump into the building. But I try and use this gun as much as I can to try and find all the enemies that are hiding. And the way I do this is that I always manage to get every single enemy except like one random guy that is just out of the range of where I can use this gun. Like if I think I'm done, like I just stop and I look around and I just try and see if there's any random shots coming at me. But unfortunately your teammate just is shooting randomly at areas because it thinks an enemy is there, but it really isn't. But it's always worked out that on the second level there's usually always been like at least like one guy there, and usually one guy that was like way in the back of the room where I was just shooting at, that I can never get with the mounted gun on the helicopter. So you want to immediately just try and like crouch in the cover when you jump out of the helicopter. I think you can, the stairs that were in that room, I think you can go up to the second level. I don't know what guns that the enemies drop, so I don't know if you can find like a good weapon to get. So I never I never thought to actually go up there and check. Or I could be wrong, you just can't even get into that second level. So this is one of those moments where you need to wait for your teammate to open the door that you need to go through. So it's one of those things where you just have to like wait. You have a timer. I believe that if you don't if you don't get to the elevator by the time, I want to say that it will probably fail you. I'm not 100% positive. I'm not sure if the timer is something that you need to worry about. I usually always, got to the elevator before that timer ran down. So it was never something that I really was worried about. Like, oh my god, I only have like 8 minutes. I need to clear all these guys out. Like, move type deal. So I usually progress through this area very cautiously, but not like too cautious. But I didn't like be overly aggressive in trying to move forward because I have died. Not in this first area, but the second area. Mostly because I just tried to move up too quickly. And I ended up finding like 2 guys that were just hiding behind like a crate. And they very quickly just killed me with like 2 shots. So definitely want to use your grenades and your flashbangs effectively here, especially the flashbangs, because if you can get a good one, you can usually stun like 3 or 4 of the enemies. And I think it's Merrick that I'm with, I can't remember. He can usually deal with the guys pretty quickly. So and Oh no, it's Hesh. That's right. I'm forgetting who. Because when we get onto the train, we're pretty much progressing to where we are in the 18th mission. Like these last 3 missions pretty much all intersect between each other. Mainly because like when we like this one we're getting on the train, and then 17 were in space, and then we immediately at the end of that mission we send down the rocket that hits the train tracks at the end of the 18th mission while we're on the train. So when you get into the elevator and you come down here, you definitely want to get in the cover just because there's so many enemies in this area. Especially as you're moving down, they will immediately just start putting bullets into you. Like there isn't any like protection between you riding the elevator and getting down to the bottom. It's just like an open area, so they can shoot at you at any time that they want. I believe I think when you kill a certain amount of enemies in this first part, it gives you a checkpoint. I'm not really sure what exactly triggers it, but it worked out where when I got the checkpoint, it was like right after I killed an enemy. So you know, I don't know if it's just like you need to kill like this amount of enemies to get the checkpoint, or like what exactly triggers it. So just kind of be aware when you run into this room. Be ready to kill these 2 guys, because that first guy has killed me at least 3 different times between my 2 veteran runs. He killed me twice on my 360 run, and once on here, mostly because I was reloading my gun and I forgot how quickly like the guy runs into the room. So I had 0 chance to switch to my other weapon in time to kill him, and I just got annihilated by him. So and the good thing about coming into here is that it kind of gives you somewhat of a flanking option on all these other enemies, since they seem to be so focused on trying to shoot Hesh that they really don't pay much attention, and you know, Hesh just completely runs by that one enemy that doesn't even really care about him. And once you get on the train, you come back to the guy that's in the tank. I don't remember the character's name. It's like the rare time when you're not playing as Logan, and you basically have just like, I think it's 2, 4, I think it's like 6 or 8 of these cannons that you need to destroy. You pretty much know that you've gotten all of them because the game kind of throws in, you think you're about to die because like the tank has that like damaged computer screen look to it, like it's kind of like a desaturation of the screen, but it's basically just the game kicking you into the next like cinematic sequence. The first time I played here, I thought I had like failed, but then I got the on-screen prompt that for the, I think it's the time of impact thing, shows up. Like it kind of disappears and then it comes back again. So yeah, it's like right here. When it first happened, I was like, oh fuck, I failed. And then time to impact came up, and I was like, oh wait a minute. Oh, okay. It's one of those mandatory, cinematic things that they throw in at you to mess with you. This run that you have to do to get to the next vehicle, I think unless you just stand still, I don't believe you can die. Like, you get hit quite a lot, but it's nothing that, like, will kill you. So, I'm pretty sure that unless you just stand still and just don't run, you really can't die during that. And then the rest of this is all just shooting at these vehicles and the enemies with this kind of grenade launcher gun. And really not much of a challenge after this. It's all just like shooting fish in a barrel, essentially. So I will see you in mission 17. Peace.